Hello, 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 and welcome to another week of Illustration Inspiration, a weekly drawing prompt to help us with our illustration practice. If you are new here, my name is Abigail and I am, much like you, a novice illustrator, and I found that I need the accountability to keep practicing my illustration. I also find illustrating extremely calming, soothing. It is part of my mindfulness practice, and and I just think that having a weekly commitment is a healthy way of not only working on your mindfulness practice, but in improving your illustration skills. So hence we have these weekly challenges. We do have a little recipe that we follow with our weekly illustration practice, and the subject matter is pretty much always the same, dogs or cats, but the invitation is for you to be autonomous and choose what it is that you want to draw. I have a process that we go through with each of these weekly illustration prompts, which I'll be sharing with you shortly, but you can feel free to change whichever prompt comes up for you. So if you're not liking what comes up, if you don't want to be drawing cats or dogs and you want to draw something else, by all means please go ahead and do that. Otherwise, if you want to follow along, I would love for you to do that. And if you'd like to share your illustration as well, to hold yourself accountable, to get input, or just to be able to tick that thing off and say that you've completed it and here's the final piece, then there is a link in the video down below and you can go ahead and follow that, and that's where you can share your art if you so choose. The way that these sessions go is that we take about 10 minutes or so to go through the illustration prompt process, where we get the sheet. I then upload the prompt sheet to the chat thread, which you'll find, again, same link in the description down below, where you can share your art, is where you can get the prompt sheets if you want to follow along immediately or at a future date. Then I'll be uploading the prompt sheet from the session, and then from there I start drawing, sketching out what it is the prompt sheet has manifested for us. Usually I also do show you my work from last week's session. However, this week I have not finished. I'm going to show you anyway, but it is not a complete illustration. I actually chose to start and finish another illustration, hence I didn't get to completing this one. So I will be finishing this one at some point during this week, as I then overlap and get started on the new one. So I'm just going to swap over. This right here is the illustration from last week's prompts. So as you can see, it's a cat, and the cat is interested in this cactus over here, and in the process is causing chaos in a corner store, in a corner shop. It does look more like a plant shop, a nursery of some sort, but yeah, so that's my work in progress, and I show this to demonstrate that, you know, it's not all perfect, and it's, as we go along, the evolution of an illustration goes through some pretty rough looking phases, and that's just completely normal. So yeah, hope that helps you in some way. If it does, this is the illustration that I started and completed this week. I felt called to draw little Timothy over here, and he is the reason that I didn't finish my other drawings. So yeah, thanks Timothy. He was cute, he was fun. Okay, so I am going to start with our prompt sheet over here. If you would like to get this blank sheet, again, follow the link in below this video. And as you can see, we've got our spinning wheel on the side over here, and I've got various different wheels that correspond with the different sections of our prompt sheet. And so that's how we progress from 1 through to 4. So starting with subject, then sizes, style, and then finally story. So first off, let's see if this week are we drawing a cat or a dog. And again, as I said, you can choose to draw whatever subject you'd like. Okay, so this week we are doing a dog. And then we're going to see which particular breed of dog. Ooh, that's nice, a Dalmatian. Awesome. There we go, second one on the list. Okay, so we are drawing a Dalmatian dog, but a reminder, you can choose whatever animal or character you would like to choose, completely up to you. This is just to spark inspiration, so maybe the other elements on this sheet will inspire you. Then we get to sizes, so body type, skinny or curvy. So let's have a look-see. Skinny. Okay, we have a skinny Dalmatian. That sounds about right. And then what is the main shape? So this can be the shape related to the actual character or a recurring shape that shows up in the illustration. Square. So you can include that in the details of the drawing. You don't have to, but it's just yet another prompt if you choose to follow that. Okay, and then the other sizes that we're looking at, we've got here big and small in relation to the head, the ears, the eyes, and the nose. So we get our big and small wheel. So starting with a small head. Big ears. Big eyes, small nose. Okay, then moving along to the long short wheel where we get the arms, legs, and tail. So short arms, short legs, and a long tail. Pretty much describes a Dalmatian. Okay, then style. So we're looking firstly at detail and texture. Detail being how much information or additional elements are there in the illustration. Is it minimalist kind of illustration, or is there lots of other aspects of the scene that you're including? So let's get our lots and little wheel. So detail, lots of detail. Texture, a little bit of texture. Texture refers to, graininess or grittiness, paper texture that you might add to your illustration. And of course, this depends on whether you are drawing digitally or analog, old school with pens and papers and brushes and actual water and watercolors. So it is all relative. Then line style, what kind of lines are we going to be having in this illustration? And you'll see the more you do this, this is really a stretch of like getting you out of your comfort zone, but also determining what kind of style do you naturally inject into your illustrations, or if you're still finding a style, this gives you the opportunity to experiment and practice with a bunch of different elements that inform your style. So line style. Crayon. Okay, again, you don't have to do this. If you want to choose something else, it's completely up to you. And then the brush set. This is a numbered brush set from 1 to 10. I am a digital illustrator, as you see, and so I have organized and categorized 10 different brush sets that I feel that I want to experiment with and become more, like figure out which one is my favorite. And so if you already know exactly, you know, you are a one-trick pony or whatever that saying is, you know what it is that you want to illustrate with, then this won't be applicable to you. But if you're undecided, certainly in the digital space, because there are so many options, but also if you're using the analog pens and pencils and things, like, do you have various types of pens? Maybe you've got some, I don't know, ballpoint pens, and then some calligraphy pens and gel pens and all kinds of pens. You can create your own groupings of brush sets or pencil sets. And and then this gives you the prompt to create an illustration exclusively with that set. So you need to do a little bit of categorizing for yourself. So let's see. Number 1. Okay, brush set number 1. All right, and then we get on to story. So first being emotions or feelings. What's the emotion or feeling of this illustration? Whether it's the character or the overall scene. Curious. Okay. I feel like that was last week's one as well. Then we're going to look at scene. So where is this illustration taking place? Ooh, nice. At a market. I actually just went walking with my husband on the Upper West Side, and we walked past a lovely market. I like that. Okay, then object. So this is what additional object is in your illustration, whether your character is interacting with the object or it's just an object that's prominent in the illustration. Again, getting you to practice drawing other things. Candles. Okay. Candles. Here we go. And then lastly, actions. So what is your character doing? Or if you happen to include some supporting characters, what are they doing? So you can expand to include other characters if you feel called to. So it's completely let your imagination run wild, whatever comes to mind when you consider all of these different prompts together. Okay, so punching. There we go. Okay, punching. Right, so that is our prompt sheet for this week. Today being the 17th of July. So we have a Dalmatian, a skinny Dalmatian, with a small head, big ears and eyes and a small nose, short arms and legs with a long tail. The square shape is prominent in this illustration. There's going to be a lot of details and a little bit of texture. Line style would be that of crayon. Brush set number 1. It's going to be a curious, it's going to evoke curiosity, or the character is curious, or there's something relating to curiosity. Again, complete autonomy on your side. You get to choose how closely you follow this. So emoting curiosity at a market, and there will be candles in the scene. So maybe it's a candle market, candle stall at the market, and there is punching involved. So yeah, let that sit with you a little while as you start to kind of formulate what would the scene be, what might you feel called to illustrate. And while you do that, I'm going to export this and upload it. Save that image. I should have turned on my focus. There we go. I also want to share this video. So let's see. Oops. There we go. That's a bit of inception there, and I will just share this. And then we go to Substack. We go here, we go here. Okay, there we go. So there's the drawing prompt on its way into the thread. All right, so hopefully you've had a little chance to think about what it is that you are drawing. So, okay, I've got to go to my dogs category, my dogs section. And I'm going to get the sheet up on the screen, so I've got it as a reference. Okay, so we're drawing a Dalmatian at a market with candles, brush set number 1. I like to do my sketches in a brownie kind of color. Okay, so we've got about 40 minutes left of this live, and so I'll just be sketching out some rough ideas, and it's a messy process, and that's why I share this, because invariably what I start drawing isn't what I finish drawing. So yep, that's just the reality of it. And if you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, just enjoy the music and start sketching out your own ideas. And oftentimes it takes me a few attempts to find, what it is that I'm going to be doing. I'm contemplating right now that I always tend to have the same angle, so I want to try a different angle just to see if I can. So with this concept phase of the illustration, you know, I'm not necessarily doing accurate, because I'm just getting the idea down. Square was the shape. Squares, okay. I'm going to be mindful of adding some square stuff. Big eyes, I can't remember. Big eyes and big ears. Small nose. by no means is this a I'm just getting concept here. She needs to be bigger. I think I need to make this a little guy. I need to redo him completely because I think it needs to be mid. In fact, I think it's going to be in the action part. And Granny over here needs to be punching more actively. Oh, she's got short little legs. I have a tendency that I'm aware of having very static illustrations, so I'm going to challenge myself to make this more action orientated. Not working at all. these legs. Hi Ozzy, thank you. Appreciate your support. Are you an illustrator? As you can see, I'm still very much learning, and I'm struggling here. Trying to think what the foot position would be of somebody who's punching. So that back foot. Almost. I think I'm going to have to work on that one. And then a punch is something like this. Like I said, it is rough. You're a tribal designer, but I'm recently practicing how to draw to further evolve my creations. That's awesome. Yeah, we do have to start somewhere, yes. You have to put my Blender learning on hold. You need continuous practice, absolutely. Absolutely, 100% continuous. That's why I do these sessions for my own practice and accountability to that practice, because I know life happens, and yeah, it's too easy to let the things that we love to do or want to do, to let them take a back seat to the things that need to happen, the day-to-day stuff. Okay, so he's kind of going to be seeing stars. Maybe he's, I don't know. He's still standing, but he's going to start falling. Something. So if you've just been punched from the front, then your arms go a little maybe his head tilts up. be a little boy, I think. Trying to steal Granny's candles. What is a tribal designer? I'd be interested to know. Maybe he's not knocked out, but he's just shocked. I don't know. You know what I'm going to do? I think make it such that he's got the candles, yes, the bag of candles in his hand. All right. Very loose concept is taking shape. And I'll have to do some like movementy marks to make it look as if it's all happening. I really do not know what I'm doing. Oh, cool. Tattoo designs. Oh my goodness, you must be so talented. I love watching tattoo artists because they, like, that's huge. You gotta know what you're doing. My goodness. What made me want to learn to draw? I enjoy the process. I do mindful art as a meditative practice as well. So more like abstract-y doodles and things. And I just, I have always enjoyed drawing, but it's not something that I took very seriously for most of my adult life. My dad is a really great artist. He can draw and paint and do all the things, so I'm very inspired by that as well. I wrote a children's book a year or two ago, and that kind of flowed very easily, the writing of it, and then I realized I need to illustrate. I need it illustrated, and so that's actually what got me into illustrating in a more committed way, because of this book that I wrote and just wanting to be able to illustrate. So I landed up doing that. I have illustrated it, I haven't yet published it, but I have continued with drawing. And I like the kind of children's booky type of illustration, particularly animals. I also enjoy doing pet portraits. So we do a lot of pet sitting, and then I like to, as a, just a a gesture. I like to draw the pets that we look after. I don't know what I'm doing here. How long have you been doing the tattoo artistry? I'm always, yeah, in awe of tattoo artists. They really know what they're doing. Although I have seen some videos where it looks like some people are just like figuring it out. I'm gonna play with the positioning here, and my perspective is completely wonky. This is hard. Square things. Some days drawing is easy, some days it's not. I suppose that's with anything. You have days when it flows and days when it doesn't, and I feel like this is a not flowing day. Maybe it's just stretching the comfort zones. I'm gonna make it seem like there's another stall at the market here. Don't know what they've got on the table yet, but I'll kind of figure that out later. I started learning back in high school. I improved my art when I finally bought an iPad and used Procreate. Cool. It's really a useful app, and I learned from the videos of Flo on YouTube. Yes, that is a great resource. I've done a couple of her drawing videos as well. Oh, cool. You recently sold some t-shirt designs on TeePublic. Nice. That's so cool. Yay. Well done, my goodness. That's very cool. It would be very nice to do that. I'm in a position where I'm currently not selling any of my art. I'm just learning. I'm still very much in the learning phase. So that's very cool that you're there. Okay, I'm gonna just start solidifying some of these things, I think. You don't do the actual inking on the person. Oh, okay, okay. So that takes the pressure off, but that's very cool. Wow. And so then tribal designs, like the abstract-y kind of designs. Procreate would be amazing for that. And that takes a lot of imagination as well. I'd love to see some of your art. Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you draw? Do you show any of your tribal art? I'd love to see. Get inspiration everywhere. Might even be a inspiration for mindful art. Let me get my music back on. Oh, cool. Drop the link. That'd be amazing to see. Nice. Right, I have a lot of work to do. I'm not feeling the perspectives here at all. And that's just, yeah. I often have to come back. And I don't know about Granny's position here, but basically she's going to have a lot of dots because she's a Dalmatian. So we will put lots of dots on her. She'll be a dotty granny. Definitely need to work on about this kid. If I'm liking this kid. Maybe he's got an ear flapping for more movement. I'm going to be very interested to see how this turns out. If it translates, if the image in my head in any way lands up. Okay, and then I've got to turn all of these ones into doggies. Don't worry, like what I always say, the art will create itself. If you find yourself not knowing what to do next, let your hand guide you. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. I do move around a lot. Yeah. It does take a practice. I'm figuring it out. I need to figure out what breeds of dogs these are going to be. It's not really relevant. And that's going to be a shade awning thing. so we won't fully see them. I think that's going to work. If I can figure out the perspectives properly here. If I just stop and take my time. And like you say, it is, yeah, it's a process. I think this bag needs to be going in a different direction. Could have to draw it all over again. I think it needs to go and then there's candles inside. And that candle will be falling in the falling process, so and I'll do a little shadow there to show that it is on its way down, and he's got his foot up in the air. Okay. All right. Concept is slowly coming together. Okay, Aussie tribal designs, cool. I'll look it up. Yeah, perspective is a challenge. It most definitely is. But I kind of got an idea of where I'm going with this. I can see that we are 2 minutes to the top of the hour. So I will start to pull this to a close. Thank you so much for joining. I so appreciate you joining in and participating. I hope you get something out of this. Don't know what, but I hope that you do. If nothing else, then maybe just some tunes in the background while you work on what you're working on. And a bit of conversation, which is always good. And so then, if anybody does want to join in and try their hand at this week's prompts, as I mentioned at the beginning, you can get your hands on the prompt sheet. This sheet that we went through at the beginning, you can get that in the link below the video. And then if you want to share your drawing, like my masterpiece over here, then you can do that in the same link. That would be amazing. So I'm going to look up Aussie Tribal Designs, now that we have finished our drawing session. And if you want to join this weekly illustration prompt hour, then it'll be the same time, same place next week, 12 o'clock EST on a Thursday. And then I also do a Friday morning mindful art session, which is more abstract and less about the outcome, less about practicing illustration, but more about being present and mindful and using drawing as a means of active meditation. So I invite you to join those Friday sessions as well if you're interested. It's at 10 o'clock EST every Friday. The links are on my channel at the moment so that you can get notified when we do go live there. And I look forward to seeing you there if it is of interest to you. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks, Ozzy. It's been wonderful chatting. Yay, let's go abstract. Yes, I'm going to go check out your work now. So it would be lovely to have you join the abstract art as well. And thank you again. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your day. Continue illustrating. And as you have seen, it's a messy process. It's an imperfect process. It is part of the process. And as sometimes it is just plainly uncomfortable and there's a bit of a brain block. I feel like I have that. And oftentimes I'll just sleep on it and then come back with it renewed. And then who knows? And not every piece needs to be a masterpiece. It's the doing that is important right now. Cool. Thanks, everyone.